Manifested within Ramanujan's poem, Elements of Composition, is the idea of biological life being endlessly cyclic and oroboric even after death. There's a focus on the passage of time and nature, as though they were a river flowing through the individual, which is mirrored in the iambic trimeter and tercet used that creates enjambment cascading throughout the poem. Ramanujan ties empiricism and mysticism together to convey the complex processes of changing natural and corporeal life. He inserts personal memories, his incorporeal psychology and consciousness, to progress the poem and further exemplify the multi-dimensional facets to human existence, the ever-changing nature of form and matter, and the dichotomy prevalent throughout the self. Considering Ramanujan's background, that is a scientifically inclined Indo-American raised by a renowned mathematical Brahmin father, we can discern certain well-known lists in the first stanza to refer to the scientific periodic table and the 5 elements of the Vedas. Hinduism insists all life to be the amalgamation of those elements, and by dying, the entity that died returns those elements back to the world to retain the balance of the cycle of life. In the following stanzas, Ramanujan then lists those 5 Hindu elements: earth, air, fire, mostly water. But he omits ether, possibly due to its scientific invalidity, and also possibly to align the Hindu paradigm further with the Buddhists. These components are then gathered into a mulberry mass, or embryo, morula, that synthesizes calcium, carbon, even gold, magnesium, to develop a chattering self able to perceive time and change. In the introduction, he draws together both disciplines, scientific and spiritual, to basically delineate the biology of composition. He then moves on to discussing scenes he had witnessed in his life through eyes that can see only by moving constantly, the constancy of things, such as Stonehenge, cherry trees, his uncle's shadow puppetry, his sister's face, rioters, lepers, and dancers. To these symbolic events, Ramanujan writes, "I pass through them as they pass through me, taking and leaving," further accentuating the symbiotic interactionism he feels between himself and the world around him. This underscores the fundamental concept of the tree of life, that humanity and nature are closely linked, and a balance persists to keep that transaction at equilibrium. Even as I add, I lose, decompose into my elements, supports this thesis of continual exchange. Despite this give and take affair between nature and humans, time forces change and decomposition into those elements, into other names and forms, past and passing, tenses without time. And this repeated metamorphosis of self, both corporeal and incorporeal, is much like the caterpillar on a leaf, eating, being eaten, featured in the final stanza. Ramanujan could also be touching on the importance yet impermanence of memory, and the way we pass through them as they pass through me, often without a footprint. Everything comes to an end, and all can be forgotten with time. Whereas one may discover a place no one has ever seen, maybe no longer there, with such distracted disregard, unaware and uncaring of the state of the place before, another person may carry a photograph of those riots he witnessed in the same place, perhaps first hand, before that place was destroyed. Another central theme of this poem is the duality of self. Ramanujan was a deeply mindful and meditative person. He was aware spiritually, and his belief in and search for altered states of consciousness or enlightenment can be seen in the half-man searching for an ever-fleeing other half. And this search for an other half can take one through time, or Mohoram tigers, temptation or deception, or hyacinths in crocodile waters, and religion, the sweet, twisted lives of epileptic saints. Perhaps he posits that within us persists a distinct separation of sorts, whether that be between dissonant internal cognitive perceptions, or between the consciousness and the body, the relative reality and nature. The poem's distinction between selves and interpretation of life is so vivid due to its illustrious imagery in stagnated, atypical, and occasional rhyming couplets, as well as its capacity to succinctly convey heavy concepts with abstract prose. Upon analysis, this poem is far more than a dissection of the elements of composition of a human. It is a concise summation of our ubiquitous struggles in life, and it explores realities relatively perceptible by a human, whilst alluding to realities of life preceding, during, and following that original host's demise.